Hello everyone. Welcome to part 1 of our third video in Module 1. In this video, I will discuss racial microaggressions. Microaggressions can occur on a daily basis. So what is a microaggression? A racial microaggression is defined as a commonplace verbal or behavioral indignity, like a rude statement, whether it's intentional or unintentional, but it communicates hostile, derogatory, or negative racial slights and insults. There are 3 types of microaggressions. The first is a microinsult. A microinsult is a remark or comment that is made that conveys rudeness, insensitivity, and demeans a person's racial heritage or identity. This occurs in a variety of ways, and the slide shows 3 types of microinsults. With ascription of intelligence, it is a comment made based on the microaggressor's perception of the target's level of intelligence. Here are some examples. Someone may pay you a compliment, but then it might come off as somehow rooted in some biased thinking. For example, years ago, a professor I knew would speak about students who are learning English as a second or third language, and would make lots of assumptions about their writing ability. When you are in the process of learning a second language, it takes time to be able to master a high level of writing similar to at a level of a native writer, English writer, right? So it takes time. And this professor always had negative thoughts about students who were English language learners. And so this professor once paid me a compliment about my writing, and they complimented me in such a way that there was almost like a surprised tone in their voice, and I knew exactly what the hidden meaning was. They assumed that because I grew up in a bilingual household, I would not be able to write like an American born in this country. Other micro-insults include making someone feel like they're a second-class citizen. For example, a brown-skinned mom is walking with her white passing child, and someone assumes that the mom is the nanny. Or going to a store, and a shopper assumes that a person of color is one of the store workers and not another shopper. And in this same store, when a security guard follows around a person of color, that is another type of microinsult, assumption of criminal status. I'll now jump to the second type of microaggression, which is microinvalidation. So what often happens when you speak up, right, when you are the victim of a microaggression and you speak up, the microaggressor will get defensive and say, oh, it wasn't my intention. And I personally have been told I'm being too sensitive when I speak up. And being told that you're too sensitive is a microinvalidation. So microinvalidation is a verbal comment or behavior that excludes, negates, or nullifies the psychological thoughts, feelings, or experiential reality of a person of color. So it's, when you do speak up and say, hey, that's a stereotype what you just said. And they say, oh, I didn't mean that. Oh, you're just taking it the wrong way. They're invalidating your experience of that microaggression. So when someone asks a person of color where they're from, they might answer, from Brooklyn. And then they're asked a follow-up question, well, where are you really from? Then this is an example of alien in own land, being made to feel like a foreigner. Color blindness is another example of microvalidation. That's when someone denies seeing color, when they say, I don't see color. Well, that is microinvalidating. That's invalidating the experience of a person of color who has to live in their skin every day and experience being treated differently. And so being told that there's no such thing as color is a microinvalidation. Denial of individual racism, someone saying, oh, I'm not a racist, is also micro-invalidating, right? When they say that after they've been, when someone actually points out, hey, you just said a microaggression, and they'll go, oh, no, I'm not a racist. That's not me. That's micro-invalidating your experience of what they just said. A micro-assault is not as subtle as a micro-insult. It is, in contrast, an explicit racial derogative statement characterized primarily through name-calling, discriminatory behaviors, or avoidant behavior. In the next lecture video, we're going to look at some more examples where on the face of things they might not seem bad, but their impact is hurtful. And this is what we refer to as intent versus impact. The microaggressor might say, oh, they didn't intend to be insulting, and yet impact is what we need to be cognizant about, the impact of our words and actions on others.